Oh, and then we come, of course, to our next interview, which I told you is going down to the Free State. Now, Mxolisi Dukwana says that former Free State Premier, who is now the current ANC Secretary General, Ace Magashule, actually took him as former MEC to the Guptas Saxonwold compound in 2011. And this is where Tony Gupta offered him a 2 million rand in exchange for a new city project that was in the pipeline. Dukwana, who was MEC for Economic Development at the time, says that this wasn't the first time that he met the Guptas. He first met them in 2009 after Ace Magashule became Premier of the Free State. Now, he had accompanied Magashule while they were in Johannesburg at the time to give a copy of his ID document at the Sahara offices owned by the Guptas. Mxolisi Dukwana, who is the former MEC of the Free State, joins us now from Welkom. And before I speak to Mr. Dukwana, let me also indicate that we did extend an invitation to Mr. Ace Magashule to come onto the interview, and we also sent that specific invite to Pule, Mabe and Zizi Kodwa of the ANC, but we've not yet had any responses yet. But let me also just indicate that we will afford Mr. Magashule right of reply whenever he is available to take us up on that. For now, though, let's turn our attention to Welkom. Mr. Dukwana, thanks so much for speaking to us here on Morning Live.
Good morning, Sakina.
So very serious allegations being made, and you say you have raised these issues before. So who did you raise them with exactly?
At the time when these things happened, we were at the height of a campaign before 2012, and there was tension in the ANC PEC, and there was no way one could raise the matters in that PEC and engage people. But most of my colleagues and my friends and the comrades who are close to me know about these allegations. In fact, that I raised the matters immediately after coming back from the meeting.
Did you at any stage escalate that to perhaps raise it with the national leadership of the ANC?
No, for obvious reasons, of course.
What are those obvious reasons?
I have been in the ANC leadership for some time, and I've seen what actually is happening in the organization, and allegations of this nature would be dismissed by the then leadership because some of these people were involved with the Guptas. So there was no need for me to raise these matters with anyone at the time. But as I'm saying, I would also like to indicate from the onset that there is an application, Anton Pule application. We were granted temporary order, and that has been extended to Thursday, and more details will be provided on Thursday in court. And also indicate that the matter, the Anton Pule order was granted on the 1st of October, and we kept to our word, what we promised to the court, that we will not disclose the content of the application. And from the first, when the order was granted, the temporary order was granted, and when the sheriff went to the offices of the Premier of the Free State and the offices of the MEC Economic Development, we have not had any leak of this matter up until the 18th, when the provincial government responded to the matter, and the matter was leaked to the newspapers. And now we are dealing with what people perceive as using these allegations to smear other people. And I want to indicate also that I did not go to the newspapers or to the media. I deliberately went to court to apply for this Anton Pule to get the information that will be used in preparing for the affidavit or the presentation that I will make to the commission.
Mr. Dukwana, when was the first time that you met the Gupta family?
Way back late 2009.
And what was the nature?
Sahara offices.
What were you doing at the Sahara offices?
We went there. We were in Johannesburg, and Comrade Ace invited me to go with him somewhere, and we ended up at the Sahara offices. I did not know of the Sahara offices, and we ended up there. In the middle of the, as we were discussing, we were looking at the computers and everything, what they were doing, and just immediately I saw him giving out his ID document to Tony, to be specific.
So this was Mr. Magashule?
Yes, yes.
And yourself, were you expected to hand over anything to the Guptas at that stage?
No. In fact, I think out of embarrassment, I was asked if I have my ID with me, because I was not asked to bring along an ID, but I was just asked, and I could see that it was out of embarrassment that I saw what was happening. In fact, what I can indicate is that I realized then that the approach of the person called Tony is just straight. He did not hide anything. He just went on and asked for the ID, and he presented. In fact, he indicated there that he was going to go into business with the Guptas. That is when I started understanding the relationship, and the details that I would like to be given that space to give the details to the commission.
Which is fair enough. But from that point onward, I mean, it's interesting how things then developed. But did you at any point discuss with Mr. Magashule what had happened there, and what was his response, if indeed you did?
Yes, I did, and that is one I think one would like to present all these details to the commission, and give him an opportunity to respond and be cross-examined on the validity of the information that I will be providing.
Well, Mr. Mxolisi Dukwana, we need to take a spot break, and we're going to do just that. When we come back, we continue this conversation. A former MEC of Economic Development in the Free State, and detailing some of his engagements with the Gupta family, precipitated by the now Secretary General of the African National Congress, allegedly Ace Magashule. And we'll continue this conversation after the break.